is all going to St. Louis.
So me
All three
by
on the screen and Constrictly.
Constrictly's going too.
What?
I wish Dredd was coming.
I know. We'll get there. Kyle, we're sorry you hurt your back, bud. Prayers are out to you. Hopefully you have a speedy recovery on getting your back straightened up. We know how that goes. Old Dredd deals with some back issues.
Oh, maybe Kyle will show. Dude, come to St. Louis, bro. I would love that. I'm definitely going to be there. I think my family will be with me. My daughter will be doing a live, of course. Get to meet some people in person. I love meeting people at these shows, man. It's kind of gotten to be a new thing. I love it.
Oh, look, Kyle says maybe he'll go.
So you guys are vending, huh? You guys, how many tables? This isn't just like a 4-footer, right? What are you guys doing?
We got 2 tables.
We have a corner section.
Good. Thank you, JVM. That's awesome. Yeah, I've not been. Isn't NARBC kind of new going to St. Louis as a stop, or am I just wrong? I haven't lived in St. Louis.
We got her.
I think it started last
I
year.
think this is,
Thank
I don't
you,
know,
JBS.
Bobby may know better than me, but I think St. Louis, this is like the 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah, when they start up there, because I'm not familiar with that as a tour stop for them.
It's fairly new. I think it's the newest one. I think it was last year they started it, or maybe the end of the year before.
Okay. Yeah, because that just used to be Repticons and Show Me's, really, is all there was. I don't even think Reptilian Nation has been there that I'm aware of. Cool. We definitely want to see some animals tonight and see what you guys are working on. I know you've got some cool new projects, the BJ Xanthic. We got to touch on that. Tell us about that. What's next in the future, proving it out and keeping it going. That's always exciting. Of course, Team Ultramel. Come on it. I love it. Ultramel pies, they're scorching hot right now. So you guys really hit that at the right time, I feel like, in the market. Ultramel pies are just
I've been
flaming hot right
working
now.
I've been working on Ultramel for a long time.
Well, we know.
Yes, he has.
He's who got me. You know what? I will credit you. He got me into it. You got me into Ultramel and paying attention to it. Seen him on your live, to be totally honest with you. It's kind of
He
when
has gotten so many people into Ultramel.
I have.
And
I have
honestly, I was like on the fence about Ultramel until I went and helped at his place when he was deployed, and I saw one in person, and I'm like, oh my god, I love this snake. They're so pretty.
And I hate to admit it, not long ago I learned it's part of the albinism complex, and
It is.
And I gotta admit, I don't go around claiming to be a bull python guru. In fact, someone messaged me today with some pictures about helping them ID something from a pairing they had. I'm gonna have to find someone smarter than myself. Case in point, I just don't have all the answers, and so I never knew that was part of albinism. That's interesting. Why does it pick the colors? Why does Ultramel pick the colors it does? Like, what's up with that?
So,
I mean, Ultramel's more orange, whereas I'm not a huge fan of albino because they're albino. I don't hate lavender, but Ultramel.
so all of the albino complex that there still shows pigment, like lavender albino, caramel albino, candino, candy, coffee, all that stuff, is a T positive or tyrosinase positive, which inhibits the pigment but doesn't completely do away with it, like a T negative would.
So we're getting down to the T positive, T negative, like in boas and leopard geckos. Is that?
Yep.
Yeah, we're doing
Okay.
Exactly the same.
Okay.
Phil, is there are some comments muted or messed up? Like there's some people, I don't know what's going on here. Remember we had that issue before with some people, their comments not. It's like
There's
it
tons of
glitched out.
comments. No, that was. I'm not seeing anything about. What are you seeing?
No, I just got a message from some people that their comments aren't coming through, so I don't know why. It's kind of
That
weird.
happens sometimes, especially.
Yeah, it glitched out on us before. We're not sure why, so we apologize. if that comes through right now. I don't know why that happens. That has happened to us before. So we apologize right now for that. So bear with us.
And sometimes you'll get filtered for community guidelines, but I promise you, I have them all the way off. I have max adult NC-17, like whatever setting.
Yeah, it should
We
be.
just take our
It should be
chances.
ready to go.
I don't filter nothing. And
then
everyone
there's-
pretty much
there's
minds
fun.
themselves. So
Punk said, hopefully my comments are annoying as fuck. Thanks, Punk. We appreciate
no
that.
zebra stuff between any of us.
Nope.
what's your opinion on the zebra stuff? I mean, it
I don't
seems
think
to
it's
be
gonna.
gaining
I don't think it's
steam.
gonna come out to be anything special. Me personally, zebra clowns or something. I mean, most stuff is judged by how well it does with clown, and I don't think it's gonna do anything. I think it's gonna be just kind of like puzzle clown. You know, not really that. I mean, you can't. No one's been able to tell the difference between a puzzle and a clown. Or I mean, I'm sorry, a puzzle clown and just a regular clown.
Puzzle clown. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I like puzzle in some things, but I hear you on the clown. Puzzle's gaining steam lately, I feel like. I'm still kind of a fan of Cypress. I don't have either of those in my collection. I'm kind of going to be, I'm reaching my limit in my projects and what I'm willing to sacrifice for space. What about you guys? Do you have any new expansion, anything new that you're may not have yet that you want to, or something new that you guys are able to share with us that hasn't really been, you know, you haven't created yet, but you've got it in your racks? He's looking.
yeah, I'll pull these out. I just made these.
He says. I feel like I just touched on like a top secret document that I don't have a security clearance
Well,
for.
it's not top secret.
No, there's no top secret.
I gotta find
The one thing I would love that I don't have or a budget for at this point is a Bambino or a Milky. I'm not gonna lie, and Jason knows that too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm close with the guy with the only Bambinos on this side of the pond. He's just a few hours away from me, and I don't know what happens next. I talked to him in person about it in Dallas, and he's maybe about 3.5 hours away from me here in the great state of Arkansas. And I don't know what's next, but in the great state of Arkansas. And Brad, you're the echo man. I don't know what's next, but in the great state of Arkansas. And Brad, you're the echo man. I don't know what's next, but in the great state of Arkansas. Not Brad. Yes, it is.
Jesus.
He's been having that issue lately, and we've been trying to rule out variables.
I don't get it. It's always dread, and I don't get it. So weird. So
This is
weird.
McDonald's internet. So I mean, there's no surprise here. I mean, I put Ultramel into everything. So I have here, I got a whole clutch of triple hets that I have over here that I just produced. But I do have I have a pastel clown pied who I bought years ago. And he just makes funky babies. Bobby has some, Punk has some. And they just this is one of the ones that he just made. He has something going on in here.
Right?
So this is a triple het or pastel something triple het also
Something.
Huh. What do you suspect? What's your hunch?
I have no idea.
No hunch.
No hunch. No idea what it is.
You do know for sure that it's not a couple
I do know for sure that it's not hurricane
or leopard.
or leopard.
Yeah, I mean, I get a little bit of puzzle vibes on there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
I don't know.
Hurricane. It's not hurricane. You said though, right?
No.
No, yeah, the dorsal is crazy.
Dog bones. Yeah. And you said no leopard, huh?
Nope.
Nope.
It's so confusion.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, no, I don't know. But so this one for sure will be staying. I produced, what was it, Bobby? 4 males and 5 females. The pairing was a pastel clown pied to an ultramel.
Wow.
But my pastel clown pied. He's made some weird stuff too. Like
Jess is asking Orange Dream.
what's that?
Jess is asking
Dream
Orange.
wouldn't disrupt the pattern like that.
I don't think it's Orange Dream.
Orange Dream cleans up the edges and brightens, gets rid of gravel, right? So it wouldn't alter the pattern per se.
Here's another one. So the pairing on this one was this was a pastel clown pied to a double het clown pied, and he made this boy.
That head is killer.
Yeah.
Right?
Ha.
Beautiful headstand.
I love the neck markings and cheeks too. That thing is awesome.
Yeah, but he's all white, very high white, except for that.
Yeah. That'll be highly sought after, or is that a holdback?
I have this one up for sale right now. But if he don't go, he'll stay. I got no problem breeding him.
Yeah.
Don't use that word. Don't use that word, Jason.
What's that?
Don't use that word.
What word?
SALE.
Oh. We'll be fine.
I don't know, man. I haven't had any issues, but I don't know where that nanny bot falls, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I ran into some issues last week.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only
okay.
time it's ever happened to me, but maybe it's just random. I don't know.
This is probably the weirdest one that he's made. He's made, and try to show you his head. So he's made this guy.
That side, sure, the lateral still sure stayed busy on that with the clown dorsal.
Yeah, but all this should be is a pastel orange dream clown het pied.
But not so much.
Huh. Gotta wonder what's afoot there. That's wild.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Yeah, Bobby has some double het babies that I gave him. So we'll find out together. I don't know what's going on. This one I do not have up.
OFP says pastel gravel clown pied to me.
I would not have guessed. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
How many animals you guys taken total, you think, to your table in St. Louis?
I'm taking like 20, 25, something like that.
I have somewhere.
I'm going to have 18 to 20, maybe.
Dang, okay. So you're talking 60 to 80 on the table there. That's awesome. Yeah, we're exactly, I think, 1 month out as of today, correct? Yeah, it's always good. I love when we get guests on before they got a big event. You know, I really do like that. We did that with Meteoric Serpents in the first ever Colubrid Fest in Indianapolis. We got him the night before he left out of town for it. So it's always
I'm so excited. The funny thing about the three of us is Bobby is a very seasoned vendor.
Yeah.
I have only vended 2 shows myself. I've been to multiple reptile shows, but Jason has never been to a show nor vended a show. So I'm excited for him to go.
Dude, that's gonna. I mean, as much traction as you get online, that's gotta just be a really nice piece of icing on the cake. Then I hope that pushes you up even further because going in person, I feel like going in person and meeting people and like just that camaraderie that happens with other people, I guess peers, whether it's just from a social angle or from a breeder angle. Man, it's hard to replicate that. Once you go in person and start putting names and faces and handshakes to profile pictures, dude, I think I don't know, it just brings it home. And I think for the buyers too, they get a personal connection. They like you. They like the way you explain the animal. They like seeing all your setup. And I feel like that buyer then is more likely to start following you on socials and therefore be a future customer if they haven't been already. I think shows. I know not where you do. Probably there's not much in the way of shows up there, Jason. So I really
No.
hope for big things for you. That's going to be awesome, and that's glad you got a seasoned vet there with Bobby to help you. You know, lay the land, and you guys got jackeries and backup power or what?
Who?
I'm sorry, what?
You got jackeries like the battery packs, or are you paying for electric, or how are you guys powered? I know that's like it's a lot of vendors that do this. Maybe Bobby can chime in. What's your preferred power source? Pay to plug in, or bring a battery type of a jackery item?
Definitely pay to plug in.
Pay to plug in, yep.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. Just avoid.
But
any...
I won't.
Go ahead, Jen.
There's one more thing I wanted to say. Jason is outgoing and a social butterfly, while Bobby and I are a little more to ourselves, a little more anxious, I guess. So I know Jason's going to do well. He's going to do well, making new friends and networking.
Nice. That's a good place.
I'm excited.
Dude, NARBC, just from the sheer cost of the table space, you're going to have more serious vendors. You know, people don't come there to play. They come there because they're legit. And I can only imagine the Tinley or the Daytonas, like what that's like. You know, that's a next bigger, more intense type of an environment as a seller. So I think it's going to be really cool because your peers on the tables up and down the aisles with you are going to be people that interest you. It isn't just like, oh, look, we're here selling some pastel pinstripes.
Right.
Like it's gonna like I hate to say it, the show I went to last weekend, I mean it was a bunch of Cobra food in my opinion. I mean there was maybe 95% I would just you couldn't give me that. I wouldn't put the rack space for 95% of what was on the tables there. Literally. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but 5% interested me. And then there was some really, really overpriced super OD pies that were like $1,100 to $1,200, and I'm like, bro, you can get that for $300 to $500 all day long, $250 if you know somebody. Like, you're asking $1,100. You think someone's gonna walk into this show and drop $1,100 on that a pet? Because
But another interesting fact is Bobby let us know last week. Didn't you vend your 100th show recently?
No, the end of the year will be my 100th.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he's vended a ton.
97 as of right now.
100 shows? Dang. So you got the travel grind down.
Yeah, it's been like 2 years. Yeah, that's not all.
He's a seasoned vendor for sure.
So you're doing about 25 weekends a year on average, is that right?
A lot less this year. My first year of vending, I did 48, I think.
Wow. Okay. You got a big head start.
Yeah.
There's 52 weekends in a year, and you did 48 shows?
Yeah.
Brother.
But Bobby also has access to a lot of local shows, right? Like
Exactly. Yeah,
pretty
a lot of
close.
things
Pretty close.
3 to 4 hours of home.
Yep.
Much more reasonable. Don't need a hotel. Less stress on the animals. That's awesome. A question, any advice to someone that's wanting to vend for the first time? Someone that's wanting to break into vending? What's a good table tip? What do you think they shouldn't leave home without to make the best presentation?
Not just with shows, but like online in general, just brand. Just, have your logo everywhere. Look professional. Be clean.
Yep.
Words to the wise.
You'll be surprised how many vendors don't.
Yep. Bobby spent the coin and got next level displays. I did as well, even though I'm green at vending, but I wanted to look very professional when I vend.
I like next level stuff. Aren't they out of Denver, right?
Yeah, their displays are just stellar, in my opinion. You got the heat built in, the lights built in, that sort of thing. So.
Oh, the heat as well, huh? That comes with the price.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen the lights.
Yep.
I didn't know heat was in there.
Yep, there's built-in heat. So all weekend long, they're fine. And even during travel, they're fine. So they're not cheap.
Some other people chip it in, say stay off your phone and engage with everybody. Man, I saw that with Bob Vu himself. Like straight up, He's got 3 and 4 employees at his end cap, and he just straight. They're all just engaging everybody. And then Cheever had a good point: have low, mid, and high. And I hear that from Emilio too. Is have your $50, your $30 snake, have your 200 and 500, have your $5,000 snake, have the range because it brings all kinds of people to your table. And you might be surprised that person, and I'm one of them. I bought a $30 bowl of python from Dave Levinson at a freaking show me show at a suburb of Little Rock. I didn't even know who Dave Levinson was right then. Forgive me. And I got to meet him. I bought a snake. It's for my daughter. And so ball pythons I backed into. It's my third species. I was into the other two first. And now look at me. I'm addicted like a crackhead. So
So you were into green trees and the red tails before
the
ball
Brazilian
python?
rainbow boa.
Yep.
I had a green. Well, I started in reptiles 30 years ago, but when I started this venture, I got green trees first, then Brazilian rainbow boa immediately, like kind of bam bam. Now they're multiplying, and I'm like at 25 ball pythons and 7 projects. So I'm on that pipe, man. I'm on that pipe. It happens. I can't help it. So sometimes a guy who buys a $30 snake for his kid ends up spending stupid amount of stupid money on stuff in 6 months. Oh, that's terrible, but it's true. You never know who your next customer is going to be.
You know what? One thing I never get tired of is hearing Jason's story of his very first ball python because it's so funny to me.
It's not. It's a terrible story. It's a
Oh,
terrible.
good.
No,
Perfect.
it's not. No, it's not. I love it.
So back in like 2018, my wife went out to go grocery shopping one day, and she went to go get dog food from the pet store. And then she came home with, 20 minutes later with a freaking ball python and the tank and everything like that. And she pulls out the box. I'm like, what is that? And she's like, it's a snake. And she pulls it out, and she's like, I'm too afraid to pull it out. I wasn't, so I reach in and grab it. And I'm like, oh, it's a snake. Cool. What is it? Oh, it's a ball python. I'm like, oh. So then I go on Google and start searching ball python, how to take care of it. And then now I'm lost in this world. It took off, and before the end of the year, I had a whole bunch, and then now here we are, just
You're in it to win it now, man.
yeah. As soon as I found Morph Market, and things went downhill real fast.
Yeah, that happens. That definitely happens.
Yeah.
I got my first ball python 25 plus years ago. A pet from the pet store, obviously. There were like no morphs you could find. And we had her for a long time, but she wound up having mites and ticks, and she lived, I think, like 6 years, and then she died of an RI. But the very first morph we got was a pastel.
That's big time back then, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of showing you my age, but,
Dude, that was huge. That's how it's so pervasive in all the collections now. It was just huge, The first time things are new, it's always exciting. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. Well, how about you guys? I mean, Jason, I know like taking the snakes out and handling stuff with the post-op surgery. You guys want to take us on a tour of your racks? Or what people love is seeing animals. Is there animals you guys want to show us? Something to poke through your racks a little bit and say, I know you don't have to take them all out and handle them, but just kind of catch us up to what some of your favorite breeders are, or anything you might want to share.
I'll show a couple off that between all that we have going on between all of us. So this is like between me and Bobby right here. This is the second. These are the second BJ, we call it MJ GCR pieds right here. So
BJ
this is this proves that MJ. Oh shit. This proves that MJ and GCR are identical. Whether they're identical or allelic, but yeah. So these are the second ones that were ever made. This one's mine. And then Bobby's is over here.
So compatibility between Xanthic lines, not many people have shot for. Oh man,
This is the one Bobby chose.
good
I should say
choice. I love that.
Defaulted. So these are two females, and then there's a double het male that was produced. He's a prick. So
Ah,
Bobby gets the double het male. But yeah, no, she's balled up, but she has some super cool pattern, 50-50 white. I wanted the low white one. I like low white pieds. And then between that and me,
I'm with you, Bobby. I'm team 50-50 on pieds myself as far as appearance.
Yeah, I'm the same. I like 50-50 or 30-70. I don't like the high white.
This is the cream of the crop between me and Jen. So this is a yellow belly ultramel het sunset female that we produced this last year.
Wow, growing awesome. What a weed!
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, she's great.
Jason has done so much for me. I totally appreciate you, Jason.
You're
I
fine.
can't stop saying that enough.
And then we made a couple of these, and then I got the male. He just looks like an ultramel, but he's super cool as well. But there is something that is, this is the worst part about you doing all this kind of stuff. So here's the male. He's just an ultramel het sunset. Super cool guy. He's going to be breeding here shortly. As soon as he gets a couple more meals in him, I'm going to start throwing him to everything that I can.
Okay.
Yeah, he looks great. Great.
They're eating great. They're growing great. This one is from a later clutch, though. So I had a 66% het sunset female that I bought three or 4 years ago. That I got it from the guy who was like, "Hey, I don't think she is het sunset. Here you go." And I grew her up. I got her and her brother for like $200 shipped back years ago. Like, I'm pretty sure she's just going to be a normal, so I won't charge you a lot. So I grew her up, and then we were cutting. She gave me her first clutch, 5 eggs, and the last egg that we cut produced this. So
Wow.
this is a visual sunset, 50% het ultramel. She's going to get shed tested. I have her shed. I need to order the test and send it in. But I think she's going to be het ultramel just by the colors of her.
Yes, and I love the darkness in that sunset pattern. I don't like it when they're washed out. That one really pops with the contrast, and the sides of her face are stunning.
So I think that there's something going on with them. So I'm going to put her down. She's going to take off. But this is also a double het female,
crazy baby?
possible double het female that she produced as well.
Very crazy.
Crazy
It looks
pattern.
hurricane, but yeah. No hurricane in the pairing.
Huh?
No.
Jason's going to send that bitch to me. I'll grow her up.
Yep. This is Jen's. She's going to get to keep this one.
Isn't it interesting how different genes interplay sometimes and unpredictable? We've been learning that from Mills. Like, sometimes you put stuff together and it turns out totally different than you thought it would. And Sunset being a newer gene, I mean, you guys are kind of on the cutting edge, toying with what's possible, and that's always rad.
Yeah, I mean,
even we have an older Sunset girl, whose pattern is totally different than this new girl. Granted, the older one is more washed out because she's 2+ years old now. But
so Sunset Ultramel, it's where you're at now. It's what's popping next before long here. What else are you going to add? What else would you like to feasibly add that you think would be helpful?
Well, there's several things we want to add.
I mean, so we're not just doing Sunset Ultramel. You got to go like 6 steps ahead to try to stay relevant. So right now we just did sunset. We did ultramel head sunsets and sunsets that are head ultramel. Actually, right now I just took that female out. She is breeding right now. I put the male in with her last night, and they're on opposite ends of the tub. But she's breeding to an ultramel clown right now. So those will be triple hets that we're doing right now.
Oh, you started pairing?
I did last night. I put them in there. I saw the barometric pressure and temperature started dropping up here, so I just threw them in. But they're at opposite ends of the tub. I was going to tell you, but I forgot.
Do you have any follicles?
You heard it here first on Naughty Business.
She does. Yeah, she doesn't have follicles yet. We're just trying to maybe induce some, get some going, see what happens.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hey, speaking of follicles, you know what people love? Ultrasound training.
Ultrasound training.
You got any ultrasound? You got anything you could show us that you're willing to? Is it too much for the hands? Feel free to tell us the truth. I don't want to put you out. You're only a couple days post-op, brother. We don't want to put you out, so I totally understand.
No, you're good. I mean, we can show ultrasounding.
In my experience, I mean, for me personally, ultrasounding took a lot of practice, and I'm still. Jason obviously nailed it from like day one. I'm like, how do you do this?
Well, he hangs out with Kyle, and Kyle happens to be pretty damn good at it. He said find the gallbladder, and then kind of go from there, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, it's pretty simple. You can get it down pretty easy. I mean, you go to the back 2/3 of the snake, and like you said, you just go put that sucker down to the side, and just look like where that probe is that's where you're shooting down, and all of their follicles will rest up on the back of their spine, right up high. So if you see stuff down low, that's probably poop or something like that. You can move the
probe up, down, left, right.
There's 2 tracks too. That's what everyone keeps forgetting is there's 2 reproductive tracks on each side. So you can see eggs on top or follicles on top of each other that will be the opposite side, and it'll look a little bit low because of the way that you're angling and shooting. So
you go from the soft tissue along the scoots. You don't go from laterally from the ribs, right?
Yeah, no, I go right from the top of the spine. I pick one side of the spine, and I just kind of rotate and go back and forth, and just until I find it, and then boop.
You are over the skeletal structure then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see the ribs as you're going down, like you can tell, and then that's also like a lot of times, unless like someone asks, I won't you can tell how big they are after you do it for so long that you don't even need to pause it and measure. You're like, that's 15, that's 20, that's 20. Like you're like, okay, cool. You're growing, you're getting bigger.
I hear 10 to 40 millimeter range. Start pairing, kind of end pairing. Do you have a sweet spot that whether you measure them or you're just familiar with the size, is there a sweet spot that you shoot
I do 10, 20, 30, and then if I want to get some fresh stuff in there, I do 40. 10, 20, 30, and 40. That's what I do. Just makes me feel better. I know people say, you don't have to do it at 40. They're already going to take it. It makes me feel better to do it.
Right.
Give me a calendar. What's a date range from 10 to 20 or 20 to 30?
So, I mean, they could go anywhere from 6, 8, 10 months to Bobby. Actually, this double head GCR female that he sent me, she showed up at 900 grams. And he's like, she's 3 years old. She won't grow. Fucking pair her. Have at it. I was like, okay.
Really?
She showed up at probably 10, 15 millimeters, Bobby?
About 15.
About 15 millimeters, right?
Okay.
Never been paired, nothing like that. I threw the male in. She got here. I threw the male in probably I fed her 1 rat 3 days after she got here. She ate the rat. I threw the male in. Probably within 3 weeks, she was already over 30 millimeters. And I was like, Jesus fuck. And
3
then
weeks, 30 millimeters? She doubled follicle size?
I threw the male in one more time, and they locked. I pulled him out. I tried to give her a rat. And she wouldn't take it, and I looked at her, and she's ovulating. So from the time she got here to the time she laid eggs was less than 2.5 months. And then hatched, she gave me 3 eggs, 2 of them double visuals.
Yep, the same happened for me this year.
Wow.
Her sister, he sent her sister with a sister of her as well. He asked me to do a side pairing for him if I wouldn't mind, which I didn't, to help him along. She took longer, but she's at home now. She was steadily growing. So she went, 15, 25, 35, probably within a course of 4 months. and then as soon as she ovulated, I sent her to Bobby, and he's got her eggs in the incubator right now.
Yep. Didn't she just lay 7? Was it 7?
It was 7.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's
big
her.
girl.
She's mean as shit too. She's
Really? At that size?
mean.
Really?
I've never been bit more by any snake than that one right there.
Ha!
Every time she bite me.
Ah!
See, see, I told you. She's mean as shit. It's because I'm here. It's because I'm here. She can hear
hears
my
your
voice
voice.
is why.
That's what it is. Like that
She
neighbor
hears your
dog that
voice.
don't like you.
She's I every time I fed the dog shit out of her. Every time I open her tub though, she would just smash my hand. And then I'd be holding her too, right, ultrasounding her, and she would just turn and fucking hit me. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, she wasn't happy when she got back, but after being here for like a month, she calmed right down again. I don't know.
Yeah, looks like it.
They're so derpy though, knock on wood. I've not actually been tagged, even the little ones that are pissy. I've not been tagged by a ball python. They're so derpy. I mean, like, their
Never?
aim is terrible.
You've never been tagged?
Not by a ball python. Now, I've had like 6-foot olive pythons bite inside of my hand and wrap up my whole arm because they're wild caught and terrible. But I mean, I've had the green tree python. That's a lot of fun. But I've never had a ball python connect. Maybe I just have really awesome ninja skills, but they're so derpy.
Maybe.
Like my hand over here, the damn thing will bite 10 inches to the right. You're like, are you just slow? Like, they're not very good at connecting.
No, I get shit all the time from my friends because I get tagged so much.
Jen's hands will be destroyed. Like, she'll come over and start helping feed, and her hands are just destroyed, bleeding everywhere. It's like, what?
This is the truth.
Um,
That's
I'm not
terrible.
kidding,
So
though.
hilarious.
but then one other thing that we're working on. I won't show it because you wouldn't be like you. But we're working right now. DG. I'm pairing for DG cryptic monsoons right now, and then Jen is doing Ultramel monsoon, and we're gonna mesh all that together.
As
When
well
you
as
expect for that pattern?
monsoon hypo as well.
Monsoon hypo. So we've got some kind of we've traded mails back and forth and some weird funky shit going on, but we're getting there. And eventually, like, end result, monsoon, desert ghost, ultramel, sunset, ultramel, desert ghost, monsoon, sunset, cryptic or clown or kryptons.
Wow. Okay. That's a mouthful. That's a lot of gene. That's a huge gene
It is,
soup right
and it
there.
seems, and this is the, when you find people who you, and then add Xanthic and stuff like that in there, but when you find people that you've known for years and you trust and you do favors for, and it's really easy to do projects like this because you're not doing it all yourself.
Yeah,
When
can you
when-
expound upon that? And also, as you do, I had a question. I had a potential, someone I trust that we actually have past guests on the show that was interested in doing perhaps some, some code reading stuff. And in my mind, I thought, okay, you've got a female. We'll work out. Do we split the eggs? Do we pick a whole back and sell the rest and split the money? I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. But more simply, I thought ship my male to him. So the female's undisturbed, is in her home turf, more likely to care, build and be successful. And then you ship me the boy, but you can put the boy to a couple things if you want, then ship him back to me. Whatever arrangement we made on the babies, that's a separate conversation. But
Yeah.
And he was like, well, he was kind of like eyeballing my females, and I'm like, well, no, because they can only go once a year if I'm lucky, and I got them for a reason. There's already I got boys to get those girls knocked up. I ain't trying to. Your project isn't necessarily mine, so I thought sharing males made more sense. Am I wrong in thinking that, or how does that do for you guys?
Typically, you should share. If you're going to do that, the females get sent, right? Because if I have a male, like my MJ Pied, right? Bobby sent his females here because, like you said, they can only go once a year. He chose that. Like, I want to do I want to see if these two, we talked about it, I want to see if these two are, and we talked about it before anyone else was freaking talking about, well, we're gonna genetic test and find out and whatever. We talked about this for a long time, and then finally those girls got big enough, and he just sent them. And as soon as we start pairing, that comes out, and it's like, God damn it! But the females, they can only go once a year, right? My male is actively engaged in other projects. I don't want to send him out into the wilderness because I need him here. Now those females, they can only do one thing, right? They can only breed to one thing, drop one clutch of eggs 1 year. So you've elected, and that's another thing. I know a lot of people do, like, I'm going to throw this male, and then if nothing takes, I'm going to throw this other male at it. Like, I don't do that. I pick my project and I go. If she doesn't go, it's whatever, right? Like, I have backups, right? So I have females that'll work in multiple projects, like, double heck clown pieds. I can put them, I have krypton pied stuff, right? Yeah, I can choose either way on what I want to go, but once I select, like, this female is going to this one, I don't veer off that course just so I know what is being produced, which this year has been quite the disaster for me, is trying to figure out what exactly I have. But then if there's like that same thing, like I have a double het monsoon hypo male. He's a spider double het monsoon hypo. Jen has hypo. I don't have any hypo. So it was easy. Jen, take this boy, breed. She has a double het DG monsoon. She doesn't have any Desert Ghost. I have Desert Ghost. So we just did the quick swap. And then when it comes to the clutches, what we found that works the best.
Luckily, I got the spider.
Yes, she's got the spider. There wasn't anything else out
Anyway,
there.
I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just like to laugh about that. Every time I open his tub.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, he's a derpy fucking guy too. He's all. He's definitely the spider. What you would think? Great
spidery
eater.
Spider there ever spider.
He is a spider, but he's a great eater. So, but when it comes down to like the division of eggs, it's just, this is your half, this is my half, and you do with it what you
like
will.
3 and 3 or whatever the number is beforehand, so it's like a total Pokemon mystery. Or do you wait till you cut, or you wait till they crawl out, or shed?
No. It's when it's after they've crawled, after they've all came out of the egg, they've shed, they've taken their meals, we know who survived, and boom, here we go. So Jen allowed, we were gonna flip a coin or whatever from this last one, and then Jen allowed me to do the first pick, and she was more than gracious with allowing me to have the first pick. I picked the male, and we just went back and forth until there were none left. And in the end, I let her. There was two like het ultramel females that I just sent her. Like I didn't want them. Here you go. And she
I didn't want them either, but
locks them off or something like that. But yeah,
this is Mr. Spider here.
There's no blind picking. There's no nothing. We cut so that everyone gets. You put your time and money into this, and for you to be able to get nothing, that's not fair.
Yeah.
So there's the spider double hit monsoon hypo male. And a big old fatty on him.
He's looking great, right?
Yeah, he is.
Spider is striking.
I love Spider, but not the derpy.
Now,
wobble.
I mean, we only really want him to make the hypo het monsoon stuff. But then, yeah, so that's how we do it. And then Bobby asked me to do me he asked me to do him a favor with that one female, and he offered, like, if I could have half the clutch, and I said no. He could have the entire clutch. He asked me to do him a favor. I bred it to whatever, and these are my animals to share with my friends and my people as I see fit. It helps him out, and in the future, he'll help me out when I need it, because he's working some awesome stuff. As soon as he makes his triple visual, he's working some GCR Desert Ghost hides right now.
Right.
So as soon as that stuff comes to fruition, I have some double visuals to send to him as well to make the quad, or the whatever it is, quintuplets. I forget.
What's your prediction on how soon we start seeing Five hats, or a combo of visual and hats. I mean,
I already guarantee that Justin has them.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
He's just not showing them.
Right.
But I mean, we're not too far. I
You know-
mean, I could do it right now, but I don't want those two projects together just yet. But so, and then
For
I don't
me,
want to do quad het to quad het either. You know what I mean? So I want that triple visual or compared to that quad. So I would
Just
work the quad
because your odds are too low. It's not worth the effort with that female for that year.
Yeah, I would do the triple. I would do a visual to increase my odds and then test for the hets.
Okay.
In my opinion, a 5 gene recessive, depending on what it is too much.
It could,
But that's just me.
it could be.
I know you don't. That's just me.
I don't. That's just it.
I don't know, Jen. I think the marketplace is ready for 7 gene animals the way it looks. So people are going crazy with this.
Well,
I mean,
then you just
7
like here, like
7 gene is one thing, but all those recessives, I'm not on board with that, personally.
There is like, you know, we talk about it all the time. People making. I mean, I despise white snakes and stuff like that, but I do like pied. But there is some stuff like you put together and you just make crap, right? Like this guy, he is not aesthetically pleasing, right? He looks like a tube sock that you peed in.
No, he doesn't.
Like he doesn't look like he's anything special, right? But this guy, for my future, this is a pastel Enchi pinstripe Krypton pied who is also 50% het desert ghost, possible het hypo.
There you go.
But like visually pleasing, he's not. Just he looks like he's a pea stained sock.
A pea-stained sock.
That is not the description I would have thought of, but all right.
So there is some stuff that when you add together, it just is like, you know what I mean? It's underwhelming. But
Yep. Someone recently said that about Hypo, Mojave, and Pied.
I don't like Mojave pieds either.
Does that just knock the whole pattern out and you end up with the golden saddles? Is that really pretty much what happens? He's peed in a lot of socks. He knows. Oh, God.
Okay,
So
this is my basic het monsoon girl, and she is the most evil snake I have ever known. She always wants to eat my head off.
Here she goes.
Don't chew me. Yep, don't chew me up. Oh, yep. She is horrible. She is so naughty.
God,
this
what do
is
you
the
have
part
her
of the
for 3
show
months,
where
Jen? She
Jen
already looks like
loses
she's
blood.
ready to breed.
What? Shut up, Jason. She might weigh.
Jen is against power feeding. Even though, like, I swear to
don't-
God, you could send a snake
I don't
to Jen,
power-
and after 2 months, she'd have that thing from 400 grams to 1,700 and ready to go.
You know what? Jason has given me this shit for years. I don't power feed. I feed small meals so Jason can.
It's just funny, like, she'll pull out, we'll be talking one day, and she's like, yeah, look at this snake. And she's had it for like 4 months, and the thing has tripled in size. I don't know what kind of water she's giving it. The rest of us sit over
I'm
here.
telling
like,
you, small
you know,
meals. Small meals.
Yeah, small meals. Yeah, we know.
Yes, Jen, that is entirely
Jason,
what I've heard. Seriously, like even your grown-ups, if it's a big girl, feed them 2 jumbo mice. But feeding them smaller meals more frequently, I mean, Kyle said that too. Emilio says that they feed small.
Thank you
and
very
often.
much. Thank you very much. Listen to that, Jason.
I feed small as well. I just can't get my snakes to grow as fast as you can.
Well,
Dude,
I guess
Kyle
I'm
said
lucky.
he got a
then.
male up to
I'm
size
actually-
in 90 days and a female up to size in 6 months.
Jesus. It's just
I'm gonna weigh her real quick
yeah.
because now
here
I'm
comes-
curious.
1,700 grams. She showed up at
What?
300
No.
to our door.
No. She might be 6.
Well,
Did I hear the beep of a scale?
yeah. And then here's also, I'll show you, here's also another, this is, since everyone's on this thing of world's first, here's another one right here. The world's first pastel cinnamon sauce double het MJ pied. But it's ugly, right? It's ugly looking. Like there's just some stuff that shouldn't be put together.
But then
Yeah,
when you
she's 5'10", Jason.
Like maybe you just got small hands.
it's a very sober wall, Jen. That's what someone said. Bobby, what you got? What you got to show us?
You had just
What do you
mentioned Mojave Pies earlier, and I just
Yes.
banana Mojave Pies.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah. Whoop,
And I
whoop.
think that flies off the table as a pet, as a $300 pet. You could sell 10 of them. I feel like all day long.
Yep.
May not be
Exactly,
lighting the
and-
world on fire, but it's a piece of the puzzle. I feel like when you sell or vend, whether it's Morph Market or on a table.
And that's one thing I like to give Jason shit about. He craps all over white snakes and basic stuff, but he's never vended a show.
Apparently,
And we all know-
apparently he pees on them. So
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you take pretty snakes to a show at a reasonable price, they're gonna fly. They're gonna fly out.
I've never vended. That's why. I mean, I don't like to waste my time making white snakes. But again, like I said, I've never vended.
We know.
And this isn't to be argumentative, but I understand bells and pies bring the people. It's like the milkshake. It brings all the boys to the yard. Apparently, that
Bells,
is
pies, banana pie, the pretty snakes. That's what people want.
for
pet
the
people,
casual
anyway.
observer. Something that anybody can walk by and go, man, that's pretty. Oh, that's cool. They
Yep.
don't even have to be a snake enthusiast. They don't even have to spell the word gene properly.
Here's a pretty one.
Yep.
See, I make pretty snakes, and it's not bells.
I'm not saying that's not pretty, but that's a $2,500 snake.
Well,
Sure.
Sure. That's my point, Jason.
Well, I'd rather make this all day than a white
because
snake.
of the powerhouse potential in your future growth. I mean, I get it.
Just said,
But you got to find the right buyer. I mean, if that wasn't something you're holding back, that's the thing. Does it fit into someone else's project? And I'm sure it does, but you and that person have to find each other in the universe.
This fits into my projects in the future. If no one wants to buy her, I'll keep her and raise her.
And that's what's
absolutely.
important.
But
Be your
would you
own best
keep?
customer.
But would you keep and raise a bell? No.
No.
No,
I would only
because,
get it
you
to
know,
wait and sell it.
But if this girl doesn't leave, I have zero issues with her staying.
Yeah,
But
well,
at the
that's a
same
great
time,
point.
if I vend a bell, it's going to sell all day long, right, Bobby?
Yeah, they move quick. You know,
There you go, Jason.
I think last year I
This
had
is this is our one big point of contention. Jason doesn't.
I'm excited to experience it then.
This week
mean-
on Intervention, we're going to host a roundtable of family members who care about their loved one very much.
There you go. I have made a white snake before. This is the only white snake I've ever made.
I have to make
You've
one
made
for my
no-
daughter.
You've made 2. You
No,
have ladders and baby ladders.
I didn't make ladders. Ladders was a purchase.
Okay, even better.
I've only made one, but this is a special girl. This is my daughter. This is my daughter's snake. I would have sold her a long time ago, but she could be an ultramel. You never know. But she could be Orange Dream as well. We don't know, and she also could be Het Clown.
She's
So
growing up nicely.
yeah, we'll know in a year. We'll know in a year when she's breeding.
I've got to do the same thing, Jason. My daughter's been bugging me for a bell for 6 months, and I have the stuff. I don't plan to make it a project, but I got to do it once and keep one. She's been dying for one.
So I didn't mean to make this. This pairing was a orange dream double het ultramel clown to a yellow belly het ultramel, and this girl came out.
But you didn't know there was double yellow belly, right?
No, the dad, the dad has yellow belly in him, which I just found out. So I have an orange dream yellow belly double het ultramel clown.
I laughed so hard when I watched you
Comments
cut
had a
that
good
clutch.
question. He's like, can you shed test for it all? So there's a
I
point
can.
of diminishing returns. To do a whole panel is about 100 and what? 120, 150 bucks to do a whole wide panel.
Yeah.
But at some point, it's only worthwhile for your breeding project, or if you think it's a really high dollar snake to sell and prove that it's worth the high dollar you're asking. You're not going to spend the money to shed test something. You're not even going to spend 50 bucks. It's not even worth it, because you sell a snake for $200 or $300, $50 is a big hit.
And this girl's not. I would shed test her, but she's not leaving here. This is my daughter's snake. She loves her. She would never let her go. So she's going to stay here, and I'll breed her. So we'll know in a couple of years. And plus, I do like the thrill of the hunt. I love not knowing and then finding out.
Right on. You know who else has a bell as a pet at the house, Dred? Ryan from High Voltage Chondros. He don't know nothing. He thinks I'm talking gibberish when I tell him anything, because he likes the Xanthic, pastel, fire, desert ghost, clown type stuff, of course, right? And he loves those visually, but he don't know jack about ball pythons. And they have a bell at the house because
Dude,
it's a pet.
I get messages on the daily. Do I have bells, and do I know people that have bells every day?
Dude's got 10 grand in green tree pythons, and he's got a bell as a ball python at the house. I mean, just to tell you, he's into one thing and the other's just a pet, but that's the one ball
I
python.
have two bells. I have two bells because my husband likes them. And that's the only reason.
People love them. They're just visually, they're neat to the casual observer. I don't know. Not a bad thing.
I just don't have the desire.
Man, and that's the thing. You got to breed what you love, or you'll get burned out on anything, right? So, there's no right or wrong answer here. I'm just curious to how you guys think and share it with people that are watching. It's just interesting. You guys are making big leaps, doing stuff together. Not a lot of people co-breed together and share their genetics and their animals. So this is all quite interesting. This is the first time we've had three guests on the show, right? Like at once, headliners,
Yep. And what's funny is we're working together, but we're all doing our same thing too.
Well, yeah, absolutely, yeah, totally. Hey, Bobby, have you co-bred with other people before? Have you shared projects before with somebody?
So no, to be honest. And the reason mainly is the breeders around me don't really. The caliber of project that I would need in order to need, a partner. In that sense, just no one near me has that, and also there's always biosecurity concerns for me. Anytime an animal leaves my snake room into someone else's and then comes back. That clutch that Jason did for me, and we know each other well, and I trust his situation, but those eggs were laid in quarantine when he came back.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting point, and actually didn't occur to me. Do you guys nido test? Do you just watch for basic RI symptoms and lack of feeding or weight loss, or what do you do to safeguard against some of those biosecurity issues? That's a really good point, and I didn't think of that.
For me personally, if Jason sends me something, I know him well enough that I don't quarantine, I don't test. The new snakes I get in, I quarantine, obviously. But I've known Jason since, 2020?
Yeah.
When do we meet?
2020.
Yep. And so yeah, I trust him 1000%. I trust Bobby 1000%. I have one of his snakes here. I know these guys very well. And that's the one thing about co-breeding is I would never co-breed with someone I have not known a very long time because I trust these guys like 1000% because I know them so well. Um,
And that's how
was
Dredd
gonna
and
make
I
another
feel.
snake.
I mean, there's only a few people that probably two realistically that would entertain a back and forth with me. You know, there's lots of people I would like to, but I don't know how to approach it or deal with that. You guys bring up really good points. That's why it's even satisfying my own curiosity, which is what half of what this show is like, what can I learn today? And other people just get to watch it. I get them gears turning, and you guys are bringing up stuff in this partnership that I had never thought of. And there's honestly only two people. It would be Dredd and Zach from Zeus's Serpents locally, well, kind of quasi-locally here, that I would even, like, we would actually pull the trigger on it. And I could meet Zach, I just ran into him last weekend here at a show. But I mean, he goes to college 5 minutes away from where I live. He lives an hour and a half south. So we wouldn't have shipping involved. Bonus. Dredd and I he's in Cali, I'm in Arkansas, so we're far away. But
And we just ventured into this. We just ventured into this. I mean, and we've known each other for a long time, and we've been through a lot together. So you have to really, you know what I mean? Like, how many people would, you know, throw just a double visual at one of yours to make, you know, and ask nothing in return. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be good friends.
Right.
You know what I mean? To be able to, there has to be this trust that you get between each other. Like, you sure you
and
don't
the
want to do
biggest
this?
way, I should specify, we know each other through our Discord group, and we talk all day, every day, usually.
Yeah.
Yep. And I mean, I am from North Dakota, where Jason is, so we've been together personally many times. I met Bobby in person once, and I'm looking forward to St. Louis so much. But
every effing day. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about knowing and trusting. I think there's some people that jump into it that want to get what they want, and then it turns to shit. But yeah, that's just my.
No, and we know what's going on, the intimate details of each other's lives constantly. Exactly. So I mean, it's not just like we're talking about snakes. Like, we're
friends.
We're very much into everyone's life and know everything that's fucking going on. And,
we're pretty much BFFs. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. We're so close.
Yeah, Jess.
I love these guys.
Well, dude, that's hard to find in this world nowadays, man. Like, it really is. Even if you know someone in the traditional sense, you know, things can get funky, or, oh, you're dating my ex-husband, or, oh, you talk crap at work behind my back, or whatever. Things always, there's always a chance to get weird. So to be best friends nowadays, even remotely, especially, not that I know you've been together physically and hung out and like been friends within, you know, the real world, not just as virtual, really one, but that's really cool and hard to do nowadays. And to have not just one friend, but two, where all three of you kind of trust each other. That's
us three. Rare. It's not just us three.
Our circle has like what, 7 or 8?
A little bit more, but you'll see that. I mean, they're all in the chat between, you know, Punk, Demonte, Jess, Kim, Amber. Someone doesn't like Jess said. Someone doesn't talk daily and say something, their phone's getting blown up. Like, are you alive? Are you on the side of the road? Are you in the ditch? Like,
you see this circle, fucker? You're in the circle of trust, fucker.
100%.
We are. Circle of trust, fucker.
I love a good Ben Stiller disaster movie. When everything goes wrong and it's hilarious. We all started in a different Discord, and that one went to shit. And this one was started. And so now, I mean, I am so comfortable with the friends I have there. I am so grateful for them, each and every one of them. So let's touch on Discord because I've kind of been I just have gotten involved in a Discord world through this agency in the last week and a half. It's part of the tools we should have in our toolbox if we're trying to grow. I understand. And I'm hoping he's gonna have the. I'm hoping Dread can help head that up for me. The Dread, we're gonna call it the Dread Cord. At least I want to the Dread Cord. But I don't know. Well, tell us about Discord. How do you best? I mean, is it just a group chat function, or what else does it provide you besides that can do better than Instagram chat?
I am not gonna lie. There are so many Discord groups that go to shit because of drama, etc., etc. So I feel super lucky to be in the one that I'm in now because.
And
I know Billy did one and it went to shit. I know there's many others that went to shit too. So
we our Discord, it's closed now. Like we don't send out any more invites. Just because there's people who, when we did have open invitations and stuff, people would come in and just start problems. And wasn't for us. So we kind of just have our own little thing going on. There's only I think we have over 100 members, but there's only consistently like 10 of us who talk.
Holy smokes.
Yep.
We had more, but we cut it off, and then we started kicking some people out.
I think we should invite King Strictly and Dread.
Sure. I mean, we have Darian in there too.
Morph Market, yeah.
Yeah, and then he's at the touch of our fingers. When we have a question, we message him.
Well, that's a neat contact to have.
Yeah.
I just watch his Facebook stuff from afar.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, Sean Bradley's in there. Bob Vu was in there, but he left.
Yeah, Jessica used to be in there. Yeah, I message him whenever I reach him. It's usually via Instagram DM. Like I said, I'm new to Discord. That's why I was like, sell me on it. Like, what am I missing? What's the attraction? What are the benefits to Discord over some other group chat? I'm just curious, for other people I understand it's a big tool of your growth, and you guys may not be trying to necessarily use it to grow publicly, but you're growing relationships internally and friendships.
It's just Punk says camaraderie. Yeah. That's the best part.
Yep.
Yeah.
1,000%. So, I would not encourage anyone to join a Discord if they didn't know several people in there, because no.
Okay, yeah.
Because they usually, so.
Well, you see, I'm old, and I don't know how these newfangled technologies work, so that's why.
Oh, my God. I'm pretty sure I'm older than you are, sir. I'm a grandmother.
I could be a grandpa. I just didn't have kids till later in life. Trust me, I got friends that are my age but they have grandkids. Huh? You'd be surprised. All right, so I'm assuming, Bobby, you probably got you're like you're reserved, you're experienced, you're professional at this. I bet you got like the craziest jokes in the Discord. I bet you dropped some bombs, sit quietly on your phone. I bet you got the best jokes. What do you take out of Discord?
So it's been hugely beneficial for the breeding program. I think Jason and Peter both agree with that too. So it would have been years before I had a clown pied ready, that sort of thing. So I was like, but that saved me 3 years at least, I would say.
Yeah.
Just things like that. We're both in the same project sort of thing. So somewhere down the line, I'm going to make something more.
Yeah.
That's the super cool part. And I always say this, man, is like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I think that's really true, man. That's why me and Dredd are like brothers. This whole endeavor, it's just snowballing like crazy. And I wouldn't do it without him. Hell, this was his idea. And I've just run with it. And we keep, we have one goal, and it's to make the show something really cool. Our growth will happen naturally by itself, whatever. I'm not that cool. But it's
I mean, if you have 1,000% trust in someone and you have the same goals, absolutely I advise it. But if you don't know someone very well and not sure where they're going to go or what they're going to do, no.
Yes,
No.
and in our Discord, like Jess says, you can either win or lose a snake by betting on DeMonte showing up to work. I have my first ever hog nose here because Jess lost a bet about DeMonte showing up to work on time or on time or late, and she lost the bet and had to send me a hog nose.
Nah. That's incredible. Welcome to everybody joining in. I appreciate you guys rolling through. Appreciate you joining Naughty Business. Dread, I don't know, he dropped out for a second. Let's see if he's back down here for an invite. I don't know. He's having some phone issues with the echo and the audio stuff. I just don't get it.
I'm waiting for
This is
Bobby. Pull out a snake.
This is a hoggy I got from Jess, and she just bit my thumb when I pulled her out.
Pull out
Are
that
you
super banana.
envenomated? Are you
cloud.
envenomated? Do you need a kidney transplant?
You want to see me get big?
But I mean, come on, how gorgeous is this girl? She's my baby girl. Don't bite me again, please.
That thing freaking bites me.
Dude, it like started acting weird, and then it like it kicked me. Then I
You
rebooted
or
my
the
iPad
phone?
and got
What,
back
who
to
started
session.
acting weird, Dread? You or the phone?
The phone, the
Oh, okay.
iPad. So check this out. And then it booted me. And then I get back in the iPad. I clear it, reboot it, come back in. It doesn't even show you're live on my iPad.
Oh,
So I jumped on my
thanks for
phone.
everybody coming in. It's an Apple. That's why. Thanks
I'm
for
going to
everybody
Android.
coming
I'm
in.
converting to Android. We're done with Apple.
Yes.
Oh no, no, Apple all the way. I disagree.
Look at
Hey, they
that
don't push
girl.
software every 18 months to make your phone a brick. I'm just saying, Team Droid.
Boo. What you got there, Bobby?
This is a super banana clown.
Oh yeah. Boo boo.
Man, that yellow is nice on that lack of black speckling. That's a really nice banana specimen, especially with super. That's awesome.
Amber agrees with me on the iPhone. Just saying.
Oh, I know. There's a lot of Kool-Aid going around. I know. I made Steve Jobs roll over in his grave. I like Apple products. I always have. I've just never owned them and made the investment because they really work well when you have multiple devices. And well, that just sounds like a kind of like a plot against my wallet. So, but I've always thought they were slick. I'll give you that. I was just teasing you guys. Apple is very, very big for a reason.
Apple is stellar. I'll leave it at that.
I'm still mad they took away our headphone jacks years ago, and everyone else got the same idea. I'm still pissed. So what do you think about banana? Some people really poop on it, man, and I think banana's awesome. I think it sells well, and I'm starting to see some, and I don't have a ready example. I'm starting to see some very expensive morphs and layer genetics that have banana brought back in vogue again lately. I mean, in the last 3 months lately, I'm starting to see banana used in some things that everyone's kind of turned their nose up on banana progressively the last few years. And I think it's kind of getting to be relevant again. Is that a reasonable statement, or am I just wrong?
I actually got my
Bobby.
first banana. Sorry.
Bobby, your volume was low. Say again, Bobby.
I think breeders tend to kind of shy away from it just because of the sex link thing, and they just don't want to deal with all of that. I think as far as adding
And
color,
they don't
there's
age
not
well either.
maybe ultramel, but not much else comes close to it, in my opinion. Very nice snakes, very and like you said, on the pet for the pet market, yeah, you can't do much better.
You said banana ultramel. Banana ultramel is a good mix.
No, I was saying that as far as adding color to anything really, banana is you can't do a whole lot better. Ultramel may trump that a bit and hold the color better, but aside from that, if you're looking at that color palette, there's not a whole lot of, and as I was saying, for the pet market, bananas one or two as far as the best sellers that I would
Yeah,
say.
this is the
I
banana
gotcha.
pie I got.
I
This
agree.
is the banana pie I got from Bobby because for pet snake, vending
Excellent
wise.
specimen.
Oh,
It's
he's
super
gorgeous.
clean. It's super, super clean.
He is gorgeous for sure.
I have one banana that I made myself.
Now I
One
see why
banana.
you get bit all the time, Jack.
I have one banana. I made this guy.
Excellent purple tan hues in the pattern.
This is a banana, red stripe, leopard, yellow belly, heck clown female maker.
Well, okay then. That's not your average banana.
It's not. He's not your average banana. That's the only reason he stayed.
That's
Oh,
rad,
nice.
actually, though. He
Yeah.
Sharpies it before the live.
No, I do not. No, he's gonna go. I have a spot nose blitz heck clown female that he's gonna go to try to make some banana red stripe blitz Batmans.
Talk about the Blitz gene. I actually don't know jack duty about it. What Blitz? Give me an example, because that's one I am honestly not familiar with.
Blitz? It's just Blitz is it's Hurricane.
Oh. Okay.
This is her.
We jokingly refer to it as a trizercane.
The Trizicane. It's just Hurricane.
Physicky. I gotcha. Okay.
And then I think you're talking about. I mean, I have some other stuff.
I just wasn't familiar with the North Dakota E's. I'm sorry.
I have some stuff.
You know what's funny about me? My North
I have
Dakota,
some stuff I don't
my
know exactly
accent-
what I'm going to do with yet.
my accent doesn't fully show up until I say North Dakota. Sorry. What you got, Jason?
There are no keyholes in those alien heads. That's wild.
Now, this is what are you? It's an Orange Dream Blackhead Cypress Cantaloupe female.
Cantaloupe.
Oh, that cantaloupe that you were supposed to send to me. It's okay. It's okay.
That was supposed to
That's
send.
why I couldn't put my finger on that at a glance, dude. That explains it. Okay.
So she's up to weight here. I just don't know what to pair to her yet.
That cantaloupe came across the border, eh? Must have walked in the snow.
Yes.
Don't you know? Don't you know, eh?
Nah.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
You know who's got the thickest Great White Plains accent? It is Kyle. Man, when he gets to going on a
Kyle.
tangent.
Oh, Kyle does for sure.
His vowels are
Very.
so long.
North Dakota.
And then this is another. This is a Orange Dream Yellow Belly Ultramel Het Clown female.
Hell yeah.
That's
Just,
rad. I've got it Enchi possible Het Krypton, but 100% shed tested Het Ultramel Het Clown, and she's got really clean black bands. There's like no noise in between them. She's in Florida. Hopefully she makes it. She's delayed. Her flight got delayed.
yeah.
So, I actually have three snakes, two of them eminently that are paid off, stuck in Florida now with this terrible.
Oh, no.
So yeah, well, I just hope snakes can be replaced. Money can be refunded. It's not the end of the world. I hope the people's lives that have the snakes isn't completely turned upside down.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that? 130 tornado warnings, the highest ever in the state issued between like 3 and 6 p.m.
Yep.
Before
Yep.
the hurricane even came ashore. And shit, get this, high tides at 3 a.m. The tide is coming up between now and the next 5 to 8 hours. In Sarasota, high tides 3 a.m. tonight. So as that is growing along with the low barometric pressure and obviously a hurricane, that's not good news.
No.
No. Not so much.
Man, I feel bad for them. I've reached out. I don't have a very glorious place, but I have space and I live alone, aside from my daughter on the weekends. And I reached out to quite a few people and say, hey, if you want to drive 14 hours, you can come up here, do laundry, camp out, with your animals, and come on. But no one's taken me up on it yet.
I feel bad for Lieutenant Dan on his boat.
Dude's got a death wish. I'm a former paramedic firefighter, and let me tell you, that monkey stays out there. People want to go home to their kids, and I got to go risk their damn necks to save them. You'd be mad, too, if your husband didn't come home because he went to go save Lieutenant.
And that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen, but...
He's going to be stuck on a matchstick in the middle of a hurricane. Come on, man. We can identify him easy, though, when he washes on shore next week.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Was this a man or a woman? Well, it's a man, because if it was a woman, his name would be Eileen.
No, it was Lieutenant Dan, but he didn't want to leave because he said he had nowhere to go. So.
I'd rather live in a shelter than be dead on a boat. Just going to have to pick the lesser of two evils. That boat ain't going to make it, man. He ain't going to have nowhere to go anyhow.
I hate to go. I have to get ready for work, though.
You do. You know, you're on overnights, and I didn't realize that this past week when I tried bothering you today, so I hope I didn't disrupt you. I feel bad.
No, you're good.
How long you on overnight for, bud?
Until we go to St. Louis, so the beginning of November.
Forever.
I know. It sucks.
Yeah, I think today, dude, we are literally 1 month out to the day for your St. Louis show.
I think so. I'm excited.
I'm so excited. And I just can't
and I'm
hide
going
it.
to be there, dude. I'm going to come there. I'm going to see you. I will not high five you unless you're fully healed, but I'm going to come with bells on, brother, and I can't wait to meet you in person.
I'm excited too. Thank you for having me. You guys continue, though.
Yes,
Are
good
you
luck at
bringing your
work tonight.
daughter?
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon,
Thanks,
brother.
guys.
Bye.
Are you
Yeah,
bringing
he's
your daughter,
on
Phil?
night. Does that switch a lot for him, or is it just a special project?
It's periodic for him.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you.
Are you bringing your daughter to St. Louis, Phil?
I am. Yes, I have my Abby every weekend. This week I have her Thursday night through Monday morning school drop off. So we're going to St. Louis Friday to go visit family. But then for the St. Louis show, I don't know how many weekends. Every other weekend I have her Friday through Monday or Thursday through Monday. But I have her every weekend. So when I roll out and go to stuff, she's coming. She's a little adventurer, dude. She loves that stuff. She will road trip
I love
her
it.
little butt in the car for 11, 12 hours one way. That kid is a road warrior.
How old is she?
She'll be 9 at Thanksgiving.
Oh my gosh. Makes me miss my girls so much, even though my girls are adults.
It's a fun age.
Yeah,
It's
for
a fun
sure.
age. That age, like 3 to 10 so far, whatever, that range is great. I guess after that, they probably hate your guts. But boy, when they stop trying to kill themselves, from under 3, hey, don't run in front of that traffic, like, don't climb that. Don't lick that outlet. Like, when they get past that phase and they can listen a little bit, golly, dude, from kindergarten up, they're just so much fun. They're so cute, the kids. And then they can process and do stuff. It's great. Now
When
she's
she's a
strong enough.
teenager, she probably won't like you as much, but just hang in there. She'll be back.
Dude, she can help me lift stuff now. I mean, she's like the tallest in her class forever. And now I have like a helper. If I need to move some furniture, I'm like, get over here. She can do it. It's awesome.
Who do we got next week, Phil?
Dude,
Who's coming through Wednesday?
isn't that the Herpin Harbins? I do believe.
Is it?
I believe so. I believe so.
The Harbins? Is it like Tom's family?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so awesome.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep, the Herpin Harbins. We're going to talk about the Dr. Tom Harbin Foundation that they founded. with
Okay,
the
Jen.
family,
Okay.
for him in his honor afterwards to continue education of reptiles. It's gonna be really rad. I met them in Dallas, and what did I miss? I'm busy yapping.
Oh, I'll always be dancing for Jen. She loves it. You know, I get my
Makes me laugh.
popping and locking on over here.
Every time. My popping and locking.
Yeah, next week's to Herp and Harbin's. Hey Dre, we don't have hardly anybody left. Everyone's dwindling down. You know who we should tell them we got the weekend after? Or the Wednesday after? Should we tell them?
Let's do it. Tell them.
We'll have
Tell 'em.
Krista, the Sunday night host of Trap Talk from Girls Who Love Reptiles, on the week after.
Girls Who Love Reptiles.
Yeah, she does the Trap
It's
Talk.
a very
Sunday night.
good. It's a very good podcast on YouTube. A very good show. Krista's good.
She's a postgraduate research. She's postgraduate. She's a vet already, but she's in grad school beyond veterinary at Mizzou, and she's the host on Sunday nights on Trap Talk on YouTube.
Nice. I'm not a huge fan of Trap Talk, but I should start
she's
watching
not like
again
MJ at
because
all.
I haven't watched it in probably 2 years, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, she's not like MJ. She's very mellow and thoughtful, pensive, and she's about 1,000 degrees more chill. She's who
you need to get?
Huh?
You need to get Billy from Mutation Creation.
Yeah, I haven't warmed that lead up yet. I saw that I gotta watch the YouTube announcement with him and Bash Coder and see to what extent they're Craig from Bash Coder, what extent they're teaming up.
Okay, there's one other option. There's Alex from Chromaflux, who used to work for Billy, but she recently moved. She would be awesome too.
Yes, we've
Yeah,
talked about
Chroma's hung
mine
out with
before,
us.
Brad. Right?
Yep,
Huh?
she has. Yep.
Yeah, Chrome and Jen was on
She's a-
one night and with us.
She's
Yeah,
she's
she's
very
good.
cool.
Yep, she's awesome.
Last time I was on a live that she was on, she was moving her collection, like she was moving from residence from one spot to another. So it's been a couple months.
Yep. She was
Oh.
moving. She did
Oh,
move.
Punk Rock, you've done a lot of lives with her, huh? Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm completely down. I don't know much of their dynamic of their professional working life together. I know that Morphforge has been checking out a lot of my posts and stories, and I know that Craig from Bash
Nice.
Twitter has. So and I
Nice.
talked to Keys from Keys Constrictors, and he's popped in on some of our lives and hung out and interacted quite a bit. So there's I have a lot of avenues in. I just haven't. Well, hell, we're booked out through the end of the year, so
Okay, good.
I don't.
That's
I
good.
try to schedule people to start bothering them 6 weeks or so before my wish date, and see if it works.
Yeah, I
Because
wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how far you're booked out, so.
we're looking at
That's good,
January,
though.
but we'll see. Yeah, there's only 3 dates in November and 3 dates in December. So, which just limits it a little bit.
December, maybe you guys want to bring us back to see our post vending. I don't know. That's up to you. I'm fine either way.
I don't know yet. I've already got the 3 dates booked. It would have to be like another day. We could have to do a hangout. It probably wouldn't be a Wednesday night, but I'm definitely down. The Wednesdays I got locked in already, but I'm definitely down
Nope.
for sure. Yeah, let's hear about. We'll figure out another day, maybe a weekend day. I don't know how work schedules are for you guys and your crew. Jason, is he Monday through Friday? What about you, Bobby? What do you do for work? Monday through Friday or no?
Snake thing is what I do for work.
Man, that's awesome.
That's why I need to vend 40 some odd shows.
Say that again.
That's why I need to vend 40 shows a year.
Well, that adds up. I mean, that's cool. I mean, you're doing what your passion is that you love, and hell, we work 40 weeks plus out of the year. We work 52 weeks out of the year. We get a couple of weekends off. So, in general, in regular life. So yeah, it's a trade-off. You're still coming up ahead. You're putting in 3 or 4 days, and you're shaving off 12 of the weeks out of the year. So I mean, you're ahead. If you count calendar days, you're way ahead than us average folks. So that's cool, dude, to do what you love. I didn't realize that, man. You were full time. You're in it deep then. Right on. How big
Well,
your
yeah,
collection?
he does that. He does that, and he takes care of his kids too. So
Gotcha. How big? How many snakes you got right now? Not maybe not necessarily for sale, but like, what's your basic breeding stock or your grow outs that you're keeping?
Between holdbacks, grow outs, I've got right around 100.
Okay. An intelligent number to make it full time. What a sweet balance. You didn't spout off like 500 animals.
That would be crazy.
right.
Because
What's the most you ever had, Bobby? I can't remember.
Like snakes in general or clutch?
Yep. Snakes and holdbacks.
So between like adults and hatchlings, I had over 200 at one time last year.
Yeah. But I also know Bobby's been dialing it back, making
Yeah.
smarter choices.
Yeah. Selling off a lot of hats and things like that, replacing them with visuals, that sort of thing.
Yep. Yep.
that's
And then there's
key,
me.
then
I
your
think
success
my
goes up.
collection is.
So to go full time with 100 animals, that takes I mean, you have to have experience, laser focus on the present and future, and the ability to navigate generating sales on a low, mid, and high end ongoing. So that's, I mean, within 100 animals
So
to be
to
full
fair,
time, that's a balancing act, dude. I mean, you've got that dialed in.
also to be fair, it's not just the snakes. We also do like some 3D prints and things like that with shows. So,
And the sugar, he has
come
sugar
down.
gliders too.
Oh, really? God, I've wanted one for so long. They're so adorable. I love sugar gliders. They're so cute. Dread, you gonna get a sugar glider?
No, I had the opportunity to get one out here before from somebody I know, but nah. They're cool though.
Nah.
We had when I was a kid, my grandpa had a flying squirrel.
Really?
Yeah.
Seen them in the wild before. Someone's asking
yeah.
here, what do you guys feel about the market? Dread included. What do you think the market's going to do in a couple years? Obviously, it's down right now, but what do you see upturns? Do you see upticks? Do you think that what we knew in ball python world is dead, and if you're not part of the new school, new thought process, new moving forward, you're going to get aged out of the business and hobby? Or do you think it's just an economic trend, or what's your opinion on it? What do you think's happening?
My personal opinion is it's leveling off. I don't know that there will be an uptick again necessarily, unless there's some major catastrophic like COVID again. But I feel like it's leveling off. I think some breeders are getting out. And actually, I had a note to make on September 10th. Morph Market had 246 ball python stores, and there were 36,289 ball python. And I need to look that up again to see if it's changing.
Wow. 236 ball python seller stores, right?
246
246.
stores.
And I've heard some of these stats before, like that. A silly number, like
Well, right now
40.
Right now there's
lower.
There's 37,490 animals listed on Morph Market right now.
Can you look up the stores? I mean, that's not a huge jump.
I will. I'll see if I can do it.
I think an interesting stat within those to drill down into is how many animals at $200 and under, how many animals at 500 and under, how many under 1,000 and under, and like
See, that's one thing Jason focuses on, but in my opinion, there are buyers at all levels. I mean, you have your pet people, you have your breeders, you have your mid-level breeders, but Jason always focuses, in my opinion, and I could, well, there's only blah, blah, blah under over $1,000, but there's buyers for every level. in my
I
opinion.
agree, but to an extent. Do you know how many? Look up normal. Do a search for normal on
Oh,
it.
no. No.
They're
Disregard
$10.
normal. Fuck that.
They're $10.
Yeah, fuck.
Literally. And there's pages upon pages of normals with no heads. At some point, you got to
I
find
mean,
an outlet.
for me, a normal is head freezer, as awful as that sounds.
It should be. It should become part of the food chain. I mean, it's just because people spend more than that for a jumbo rat for their burms and retics and stuff. Like a $10 meal when you have a large or a specialized animal. For me, that's a lot. That's 10 times what I spend to feed my things. But I got a nice rat plug. But
Exactly.
it's not.
So-
if you have an animal that a crebo, a cobra, or something that eats only another snake, bull snake, whatever, like $10. That's not a bad price when it comes to specialty feeders. Someone's got to figure this out, harness that market, because it's a total.
And listen to Punk. Listen to Punk here. Normals are the most abused ball pythons because people get a normal for super cheap. They provide shitty husbandry, and the animal's probably going to die anyway. But I do have a Mexican Black King, and so does Jess. Jess has a Mexican Black King. So does DeMonte.
So,
Yep.
expounding upon this, because it's a $10 animal, people don't respect it. It's that whole concept of a little skin in the game. You put a deposit. The bank wants you to put down at least $500 for a car at the dealership when you buy a car. They want to see some skin in the game, something that shows earnest money. There's even a word for it. So,
I mean, again,
what do you
so
do with
if you go on Facebook and people are offering free kittens or free puppies, they're not going to give two shits about those animals because they didn't pay for them.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen over and over again. But that's my opinion. So
You see it out here the same, even in the rescues, right? Like a friend of mine runs a local rescue with, reptiles, and you see it all the time. She's like, you won't believe what we get and take. And
exactly.
luckily she tries to find good homes for them, but it takes a while, and it is.
Yep.
And it is a lot of normals. And I go, okay. And I asked her that. I said, how much of it is it? She goes, it's 99% normals we get. She goes, sometimes we get nicer animals come through. She goes, but it's not always. It's normals.
I got an idea.
So White Feather says overbreeding. Well, I mean, I've only had 3 clutches this year. I have 2 babies that are pastel double het that aren't going to go for shit. So I've been trying to feed them off to my pink snake, to be honest, because I don't want them to go from home to home.
I just let 3 of them go the other day for a C note to this guy. I mean, take them. I don't want to mess with it. So he come by and he wanted them. Okay, do what you do with them, but go, bye.
Here's a question and then an idea based on your answer, because I don't know. Frozen, say you het freezer we were joking about, right? Do they do? Does this byproduct animal does it thaw as good? Does it fall apart? Is it gross? Is it like thawing a rat? Is it the same? Do snake-eating snakes accept frozen thawed, or do they want them alive? Like, what's the success of freezing, thawing, and actual ingesting of a frozen snake prey item? I don't know the answer to that.
For me, het freezer means making a wet specimen, preserving it, putting it in a globe, and people love that. I wish Kim was here. She could tell us more about that. But
no, I get it. That makes sense. I thought about doing that with something. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
There you go.
Yep. That was made by Kim. That was one of
freaking rad.
One of his babies that died.
This was a banana pied. Look at the color change.
Yeah.
Yep, the color does change.
Yeah.
That looks like
but I
awesome.
currently have 2 babies in the freezer that died in the egg that I'm going to send her to make wet specimens with, because To me, wet specimens are beautiful.
What was that in,
But that-
Bobby?
It's just like an egg-shaped
Is it
globe.
is it formaldehyde or what's the? Do you know?
I believe this is just isopropyl alcohol, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Alcohol.
So to start, you take the dead animal, you inject it with formalin. It sits there for like a month, and then for what like Bobby has, it's in isopropyl alcohol.
Okay.
And if
So-
that like
Can you thaw them? You put them in the freezer. Can you thaw them? Do they hold up from a
Yep.
substance standpoint? Is the tissue still firm? Can you still feed that animal off? And is there a success? Do snake eaters eat frozen thawed? Are they,
as far as feeding off, I don't know. I've never tried it. I know as far as freezing and doing wet specimens, it's fine.
Gotcha. 10% formalin DI was a question. Snake eaters can eat frozen thawed, she says. Okay. So here's an idea. So if successful with frozen thawed, you've got a connection at Darien. I don't. All these $10 normals, why don't they work out something to clear them all off the market, bring them into someone that Rodent Pro, or pick a name, it could be himself, whatever, and make a feeder house out of it. Because
I agree.
you can't go to rodentpro.com or any of these places and buy feeder snakes that I've seen. You're lucky to find a Knowles, if once in a blue moon. You can't find them. So why not cull the market and alleviate all these sellers with a bunch of $10 snakes, 50 in a pet shop, if you're lucky, and just collect them, treat them ethically and humanely, make them feeders, just like bags of rats. Why doesn't he do something to elite? Because of shipping cost. Well, you're not going to spend $70 to ship one of the $10 snake. Nobody will. But through Morph Market and Darian's channels, and now especially since he's launching this shipping program, figure out a way to make that more economical. Bring them in, and then I don't know the math, but do the math. If there's to 15 a piece or whatever it is, including the shipping into the house and freezing them, and then the buyer buys them like a basic feeder, like I would buy a specialty chicks or quail or something. They're a little more,
Right.
or ASFs. They're more pricey. It is what it is. You pay $4 an ASF. You want them, you got them, but they ain't cheap. So same concept. You need feeder stuff for your bulls and your kings and your cobras. Well, that meal's not cheap. And that's how Darien or someone makes the money on the back end, is selling them off as feeders. But alleviate that market and get all the fucking 3 pages of $10 normals off of there, and let's put them to use so they're not abused. They're going to a good place, and you're letting people keep snake eaters in stock with food.
That's my biggest worry with them cheap normals is someone random's going to get them. They're going to starve to death. They're going to be dehydrated, etc., etc. That's the one thing I don't like about it.
Jessica thinks euthanization is more complicated than versus rodents.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Gas chamber's a gas chamber. I don't think that's an issue.
It takes a lot longer because
They do. It's just backlog. Okay.
Right. I agree with that maybe taking longer, but I don't think it would be an issue. I mean, if you get it in the tank and seal it up right, I gas off rats all the time.
Yeah. CO2.
Yeah.
CO2.
So okay. So maybe leave them in the tank 10 minutes versus 5 minutes. It is what I don't. Yeah, because they can hold their breath. But
Well, you could
eventually
probably
they're
do a
gonna breathe.
combo. You could probably put them in a sealed tub with CO2. So we breathe oxygen at 21% ambient percentage in the air. So you lower that to whatever, close to zero, in a sealed tank and put them in a deep freezer. You've got a very humane way. The cold slows their metabolism. They don't have a thrashing or asphyxiation, but you're also knocking out the oxygen and preserving the tissue. I feel like there could be a really good, humane way to do that properly. I feel like there's got to be an outlet. There's got to be a solution.
Echo.
He showed his plug.
Jason said, make the plug, Bobby and Jen. We need to win. I have no idea what.
Respiration is typically lower than mammals.
No idea what that means.
Okay, Carly. Yeah.
Well,
Agreed.
we're still
Okay. Several
echoing.
studies. This is not humane. Okay. All right. That's why I want to have this conversation. Oh, forgot to say something. What did he forget to say? Is he in a box? Does he need a box? Oh, I don't see him.
Well, Carly Lynn's educating us down there, so I was not aware of that, Carly. So thank you for that info. Definitely, we would want, if anyone's going to do this, they would need to do it as humanely as possible. I do agree with that.
Yeah, I'm down to here, and she is, if anyone doesn't know, she is actually a bona fide scientist, marine biologist, working with tissues and small critters, and knows all kinds of things scientific. So, a friend of mine, Coastal Morelia, she knows what's up.
Philip knows me. I'm already in bed. I've been suffering with being sick. But yeah, there are actually several studies. I used to work in an exotics clinic too. That if we're talking like, yes, I understand that a lot of people just shove them in the freezer, which is also not humane.
No.
But CO2, the respiration rate for reptiles is so significantly diminished that it's about the equivalent of shoving them in the freezer, basically, because the lack of oxygen is going to take forever to actually conk them out. And CO2 doesn't actually, with mammals, the way that our systems are set up, you just kind of drift to sleep. That's not what you get with reptiles.
Okay.
Cervical dislocation.
Yeah.
If you're going to do a way that is not medically injected, cervical dislocation is the best way to do it because it at least severs the spinal cord. And that is the most painless way.
Yeah.
Like a chicken farmer.
Yep. I caught a
You
large.
just have to make sure that you actually completely sever that, that cord, because otherwise, and it does run underneath the backbone.
Yep.
Oh.
So, yeah, Jessica knows too. Yeah, it's this one of those things. It's very weird. Most people just do. It's very easy to cull them when they're very fresh, brand new, and a lot of people do that. But Phil, what you were talking about there being a market, there is a market. There is a market where people are taking ball pythons, and if you talk to a lot of people in the hot community,
Yeah.
they
Yes.
have all the connections and stuff like that. So there are a lot of things, but that's one of those things that's backlogged because people are not going to talk about that because people get
They get all pedified.
they get snowflakey about it.
Yes.
I guess what I was saying
Agreed.
was about clearing out Morph Market and then using Darian's newfound shipping, stuff that he's got going to get them off of Morph Market en masse without, with some kind of alleviation for the seller and kind of a clearinghouse of all them literal $10 ball pythons. I don't disagree with you at all that I'm sure there's a market that I'm not aware of underground and spoken in certain circles. I get that. But I'm just talking getting them off of it en masse in Morph Market, but not just doing it for the sake of image or anything, but I'm talking about actually making it useful and financially viable.
Yeah.
So,
At the end of the day, though, the people are not going to do that because of the fact that they are
Emotionally attached to the pet they produced.
Yeah, it's the same concept of saying, hey, we should go in all these dogs and cats that have been at humane societies and shelters for like 200, 400, 500 days, At some point, you got to kind of clear the way for other things. But it's one of those things, too, that people are still producing normals. That's why I don't do ball pythons, because I don't have any interest in normals, pastels, and that kind of stuff. I don't want to have to worry with what am I going to do with it, because, yeah, it is more expensive to ship those animals half the time than it is to actually deal with them.
but I mean, even for me, I have 2 normals this year that are double het, and I know nobody's going to want them. So I tried feeding them to my Mexican black king snake, and he's not about it right now. So
There are definitely people. That's the same concept of geckos. Geckos, a lot of the like cheaper crested geckos, people are buying and they're feeding them to arboreal snakes that are difficult to get started. So people do buy them. I mean, there's no difference. I've 100% bought a teeny tiny little live gecko and paid for shipping because unless you're producing those in house, those are hard to get. So I imagine that some people would do, buy the ball python, the very cheap ball pythons live, but they're more aptly, I think, to go to shows. If you vend at shows,
Right.
then that's where you're really going to make your money on normals and stuff because people are going to come in and they're going to buy the cheapest option that they have for their kid and it's going to go home and maybe you never see it again and maybe it lives till it's 20. But that's usually not the case.
Yeah.
So I want to answer Tanya, who says those poor babies, because I've seen many people impulse buy snakes. They don't know what they're doing. They provide improper husbandry, and the snake dies anyway. So, yeah, poor babies. But I would prefer to do what's best for the baby, especially if I'm producing.
The deal is, right, if you have king snakes, and king snakes need to eat, that's one part of their natural diet is eating other snakes. So
The circle of life.
exact right, there you go. My buddy's got a king snake. He come over here the other day. Right, king snake's happy. There you go.
It ain't no different than, we had hamburgers for lunch. It ain't no different than that. It just
Absolutely,
looks a
it's no
little different.
On the nose. Ding ding.
That's an interesting and great ethical conversation, and what does this all entail? And I love it, but it's just like the same people. It's like, so punk rock brought up. Where do you draw the line? Well, everybody loves to go to the zoo and see a beautiful Armor tiger or a Bengal, but there's also people that have sheeps and goats as pets, and they love them and they keep them. But guess when you go there, guess what they feed them things after the place closes? Your pet sheeps and goats. I mean. Yeah, it's raised as livestock, but a goat's a goat's a goat's a goat, right? Snake's a snake's a snake's a snake. So where do you draw the line? Do we raise these cows on antibiotics? We fatten them up, we speed them up. Do we put a bolt in their head and we chop them in the ground burger? And I love me some burgers, but I'm not kidding myself where it came from or the cruelty of it. But brother's got to eat, and I'm hungry, and I'm going to eat that hamburger. I'm sorry, but it's we're made for that, in my opinion. And veggies are great. But our dentation, our digestive system, we're made to eat meat. We're made to eat fruits, vegetables, nuts, grain. We should eat all of it.
We draw the line at people.
It's always going to be a sensitive topic, especially as it comes to ball pythons. But I would prefer to save any of my offspring from potential neglect and death, and just as harsh as that sounds, just be done.
I agree.
I think that's
why
kind of a better route. It's the same concept about these, talking about the shelter animals that have been in the shelter for freaking. People will sit and they post, "Oh my gosh, Mr. Chewy's been in the shelter for 700 days." Okay, at what point is that life for that animal?
In the arms of...
I am a big dog person, but when I see rescues, okay, we brought this dog in and we spent $6,000 to make it better. I'm like, why would you do that? Euthanize it and spend that money on other animals.
Oh, I know. And then you see them, they're like, "Oh, we brought this pregnant mother in and now all her babies need a home. Why did you not do a spay abort? Why did you not do spay abort? Why would you bring more into the system?" And somebody asked, talking about the person who asked, where do we draw the line? We draw the line at people. We don't eat people. That's where we draw the line. We do not eat people.
Yep.
Have you seen that one airplane movie where they crashed on the side of a mountain? It was like wintertime.
Yeah, we don't eat.
Yeah,
we don't eat.
hey, that's a whole different situation, right? That's not. Yeah, that's different.
So someone said they couldn't watch South Bay Reptiles because he fed off a ball python with a king to its own mother. Okay, So South Bay is pretty huge, has 100,000 plus followers. But I'm just gonna say this: I learned a while back from some of the big dogs that it's just sensational PETA fueling fodder to do like live feedings and stuff. It's easy, low hanging fruit clickbait. And if you're a good breeder, we know, you know, everyone in the box knows we feed off things, but we probably showing it off to the masses for a bunch of clicks and like is the lowest common denominator. That it's cool, but any experienced keeper's already done seen it. So what are you going to do? Sensationalize everybody who's inexperienced? How many people are you going to offend? How many future customers do you turn off? How many people report you? How does it hurt your brand? How do you look? It's just, don't show off feedings. It's not necessary. We all know they eat. And therefore, taking a snake.
Yeah, I don't understand the live feeding, especially on live.
I hate that. I swear I see 2 or 3 a night, and I hate it.
Rage bait too. Yeah, you're right. Rage comments is a huge thing nowadays, especially on Facebook and stuff. People love to rage out. I just feel like showing it off. It just, yeah, you can, but I feel like
honestly, some people get a slightly disturbing kick over it, and I've got one snake, unfortunately, that still eats live. I wish he didn't, but I've got one that eats live, and I can't tell you how many times, like, I have had friends that are like, I want to watch. I'm like, why do you want to watch? Why do you want to watch? I don't even enjoy watching.
Honestly, I feed live 75% of the time.
But are you producing? Are you making your own feeders?
I am.
Well, yeah. see, that's what. But there was a big conversation. There was a big conversation not that long ago in one of the chats that I'm in that people were talking about, when is it acceptable to feed live? When is it acceptable to sell animals that are still on live versus frozen thawed? And it's a lot of the people, it's easier for y'all to go in and grab than it is to, like for us, I don't breed my own rats. So unless I have one that flat out eats live, I'm not going to go get it. But so I don't think there's anything wrong. Don't get me wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with feeding live, especially if you're producing your own rats. By all means, make your life easier. Don't get me wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with feeding live, especially if you're producing your own rats.
Oh my God. There's the echo again.
Especially if you're producing your own rats.
So for me,
it was great. It wasn't you, Dread. It wasn't you, Dread.
It was.
Good night, punk rock.
All right. So for me, I get a higher prey drive with the live. I always feed small, so I know when I put them in, and I always watch when I feed too. So when I throw an animal in, it's not like I just throw it in and leave it.
There's a way to feed live. There's a way to feed live appropriately and safely for your animals, in which a lot of people don't get that and understand that. I feed live. That's all I'm gonna feed. But I also make frozen thawed. Right, I freeze off for people that I'm pro either way you want to feed. But if you do feed live, educate yourself on properly how to feed live and monitor your animal for its safety. Right? I've never had one animal, never, and won't, because I watch that animal.
But
I don't put it in there, go to bed, and come back the next day, and my animal's chewed up. I put it in there and watch my animal. And there you go. It does its thing. If you
mine eats off the tongs,
if you need to put the tongs right,
then don't eat.
Grab it in its mouth, then that's what you got to do. But you do what you got to do safely, and you're done. And it's safely done.
But I'm gonna say I also prefer to have my animals, even though I feed 90% live. I like all of them to also take frozen thawed, if possible.
I think that's a good idea. I really do.
Yeah. Because sometimes I don't have enough live.
Correct.
But I have some
if you sell an animal, right, or rehome that animal, and that person wants to feed frozen thawed, he's already gonna he'll eat either way. I agree. That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's what I try to do. It doesn't work all the time, but that's me.
Next day.
I think also because y'all both do ball pythons, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think ball pythons are a little bit more
Thank you, John.
flexible maybe, versus like, for instance, like the species that I'm doing, the arboreal species, if you get an animal
Oh,
6 months and it's still feeding live, you are doing really good if you ever get it off live. So that is where I think a lot of that comes in. Ball pythons tend to be a little bit easier, but there's definitely, regardless, there is a right way and a wrong way. Me personally, like the one that I've still got that's on live, the last thing I want to do is continue that animal on live, but I still want it to eat. Otherwise, I'm going to end up with an animal that's eating rats that I'm having to conk out or file teeth down so that we don't end up with a problem.
Exactly.
Because we're talking animals that get up to
Strictly-
medium rats.
Jason
Right.
says he's back for a minute. Maybe can you
Oh,
add him
is
a
he?
box?
Is he
That's what he
all fresh and
said.
ready for work? I hope he's
Probably.
in fatigues. It'd be sexy. Does he wear fatigues? Let's see him.
I don't have my top on, so you
Ah,
get
I
to
knew
see
it! A man in uniform.
Yes. I got the pants on. I got the pants on. There, you can see that.
Oh, okay. At least you
He's
got
sexy
pants on.
and he knows it.
I forgot to make a plug though. I was asked by Snakes and the Fat Man to go on 15 minutes of lame for this year on November 1st.
That's awesome.
So I'll be on 15
I'm
minutes of lame, and then there's a contest at the end of the year to get voted for first place. So I'm going to need people's help.
I'm
All right.
excited for
Go
Jason,
out.
but Chris Eaton's a pig. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I am excited for Jason, and
Your
we will
polarizing
support you.
opinions. I don't know much
Oh.
about them, but we were gonna vote for you. Basement Pythons. Basement Pythons, baby. Instagram, TikTok, world famous. He's got the most beautiful hands when they're outside of the wrapping. He shows
He's got
snakes in
beautiful.
a board better than anybody.
He has beautiful toes too. I will say.
Oh, okay.
They get to see my feet constantly.
That's how you pay for the
So what you're
snakes.
saying is I
get
have
it now. A little
You
content,
do
a
have
little pay to
competition.
play.
Yes, 100%.
Fair enough. Hey, if you got it, flaunt it. Don't hate the player, hate the game, baby. I hear
Exactly.
you.
But I forgot to say something earlier.
it.
It wouldn't, every time I put lame in there in the chat, it wouldn't go. The message wouldn't go through. You guys couldn't see it. So
Isn't that weird?
Well,
I swear, some of the filters on here,
I
dude.
started to bring it up and then I got sidetracked. I'm sorry, Jason.
that's okay. But yes,
We
I just
got off
wanted
in
to
a
make
deep
that
ethical
plug.
conversation about feeders and stuff and reptiles, and so.
No, I heard.
Oh, okay.
Like, Jesus.
I thought it was great. I thought it was really good. I did not expect to veer down this path, but I thought it was super interesting and worthwhile
was.
talking about.
Them freezer snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's collect them up, man. Let's make a rodent pro, but it'll be a reptile pro. We'll
There you go.
freeze them and send them, baby.
If anyone's interested in frozen snakes for their animals to feed to them, I have a bunch in the freezer that I'll send to you. I'm not
There you
afraid
go.
to say. Yep. Head
Little did
freezers.
we know. We were
Head freezer,
all
head
along.
freezer.
Head freezers.
Amber said het freezer. Yep.
100%. But okay. Sorry. Thank you for letting me make the plug. I'll leave.
Hey,
here
we'll
now.
see you, man. 15 minutes of lame.
15
You'll make
minutes
it
of lame.
30, I'm
Snakes and the
sure.
Fat Man.
I've never seen the show. I want to watch that.
Go watch
November-
Snakes and the
November
Fat Man. He's
1st.
sponsored by Justin and all that kind of stuff. And yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot of people who don't like him.
He's a pig. He's
yeah.
a pig.
I'm just surprised they got asked because I'm not a woman. So
Oh.
I'm super excited about it though.
You probably just saw your hands only and wasn't sure.
It was after I
Yeah.
went on I was on More Forge last week. And,
Yeah.
and it was great with John and Jamie. It was a great time on there. And they messaged him and asked them, do they think that I would be a good candidate? And
Yeah.
then he messaged me after that and
That's
said,
super rad, dude. It's
Yeah,
always
no.
gratifying.
I'm
Did you find a
excited.
good picture to send him?
I did find a good picture to send him. He didn't enjoy it. I have the one that I was drinking beer from More Forge. He did not like that one.
So what else did you send him?
You'll see.
Sure.
You'll see when it comes out.
Sure. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
have to subscribe to see the answer. If you're not a subscriber, you're not going to be privy.
He'll put it out there. He'll put it out there when he gets ready. When we get closer to November 1st, and then
That's
it's going to
awesome,
be
brother.
a constant. Like it's kind of like they'll see a lot of reels and stuff, and people will be able to go and vote on a website for who the best person that they thought was. So,
For 50 minutes lame, yep.
yes, please.
All right.
All right.
Sweet.
I'll see you guys later.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good night at work.
Jason,
You too. Bye.
Jason, I miss you.
I miss you guys too. If I could ever leave here.
It's like Hotel California, baby. Once
I don't
you're
know
in,
where
you're
there's
never
no
out. You can't
exit.
leave.
Get out of here.
Kick him out of here.
The warm smell of politas. This ended up being a fun conversation. Don't forget to tune in next week, 7 o'clock Central, the Herp and Harbins. It's gonna be rad.
I can't wait to see that.
They're neat. They're more into colubrids than they are. They do ball pythons, but really, I think that I want to hear about Husbandry Pro. I've watched some of their YouTube lives with Clover's reptiles. So Heath and Hatchery, Morforge, Clover, Meteoric Serpents, Emilio from Trap. I have all these, Krista from Trap Dog. I have a lot of overlapping circles with these people. We're not. I'm pretty close with Krista, and me and Emilio are super cool, but. I would say Krista and I are buddies, but the other ones are just kind of acquaintances. We have a lot of the same circles and overlaps. So it's interesting to kind of see everyone kind of meeting up. It's pretty neat. I use HP.
Tanya, I love your wall. This is my husband. He's a big JD guy.
Condos freezer Neos made the best fish bait. Oh my gosh. That's the best tip ever.
You should have saw my wall in North Dakota because it was insane. It was stupid.
Well, yeah. I'm not even kidding. Well, that's awesome. So bright yellow, I'm hearing bright yellow or red chondro babies on the hook. Okay, well, duly noted.
And my way, I'll catch a big striper on them.
Nice. So yeah, this is pretty rad. We talked about venomous earlier. Our last show in October on the 30th, we got a venomous keeper. That'll be our first venomous show. We wanted to do something really cool and spooky for Halloween, and we've already had one tarantula expert on here. We'll have another one, but we didn't want to just do tarantula again. We thought it was too simple, so we're doing venomous. I tried real hard because some of those big cats are really impossible to reach.
Tarantulas are so simple.
I don't know. Why can't I type today? He's biting. Dude, I'm from St. Louis. Even if they suck, I'm a Cardinals fan. I bleed red. I do not care about your Yankees.
Sorry. Not sorry. I'm also a Minnesota Vikings fan, so.
How about them? Jeez Louise.
Right?
I thought they were going to be terrible this year.
I thought they'd be mediocre, but I cannot believe they've started 5-0. Like, what? Yep. I'm not going to hold my breath from here on out, but it's exciting.
It's pretty wild. That's awesome for you. Yeah, it's tough to be a fan of the purple because, well, it's been a lot of rough years. They've been good the last few, though. I love Justin Jefferson.
Many rough years.
Listen.
But I've always been a believer. They're my team. I don't give up. So.
Oh my God, he's anti-baseball. Well, how old is punk rock? How old punk rock ball pythons? How old are they? Are they like 20s, 30s, 50s? Like
30s.
30s, yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Punk sucks. Punk, you suck.
Baseball's awesome. It's a cerebral game. Oh,
I know 40. A lot of people think.
All right.
I know a lot of people think baseball's too slow, but I love the game, honestly.
It's cool. Too bad everything's too expensive to watch on TV anymore. Can't afford it.
I found an app where you can watch it.
Golf is slow. Yeah, so is paint drying. They're about as exciting equally.
So is paint drying.
Oh, golf, man. How anybody watches that and doesn't just go straight into a coma. Hey, there's the answer. That's how we take care of all these normal ball pythons. We just line them in front of the TV and put on a golf match. Lord have mercy.
Hell yeah.
They'll all be just zonked. They'll be unalived in no time. Oh, my snake got you tonight. I got an awesome new pic. Oh, man, she sent me a new pic of a fresh shed. Well, sorry, he bit I hope it's a girl. I think. I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe I hope it's a boy. I don't know. I don't know what I want. It's a beautiful snake. Oh man.
What is it? What is it?
It's a green tree python. I'm Carly. I think it's fair to say is probably the top female producer of green tree pythons in the U.S. I dare say.
Hells yeah. Love it.
Yeah, there's some people that came before that have bred, made lots of success, and new bloodlines, and have stepped away from the hobby and the breeding. But I don't know. I don't know. She's pretty preeminent. She's rad. So I'm getting a baby from her soon, very soon. And yeah, she sent me a new pic today, and heck, it bit her tonight. Yeah. Well, my Beox are so super assholes, so it'll bite anything.
All right, put Dread on the big screen. I need to see the sprinkler. Gotta have it.
Dread, dance us home, baby. You ready to wrap this up?
Work it. Work it.
Oh, where's the roses? Somebody throw the roses. Where's the
That's what I'm.
Hey, I'm not gonna do the shuffle up and get remember the Goonies.
The naughty.
Oh, yeah.
For the naughties.
Work it. Work it.
Let me pass it along to Phil. Do the wave, right? We gotta do the wave.
Do the wave.
David Bowie.
And then the
says,
Jen,
"What's
and the
up?"
Jen's got it, and then Reptiler's got it. And into the comments, there we go. Boom, do the
That's
sprinkle,
right.
do the sprinkle, do the sprinkle.
That's right. Gotta get them hands up. See them hands.
Get your hands up in the air. Woo, woo. Do the running, man. I might dislocate a hip over here, y'all.
Throw out a spleen.
I've been known,
Bobby,
I've
I
been known to
appreciate
throw
you
a spleen
being
out back
the
in the day,
sensible
man.
one
I
tonight.
dropped it.
Thank you for keeping us level-headed. I appreciate it. We tend to run away with ourselves, so thank you. And dude, I'm glad you're the sage, bringing the experience to that table. Come St. Louis, that's going to be rad. I can't wait to see more. I love your animals. I want to see. I want more pictures. I want to see more stuff on your Instagram if you get a chance. I'm just curious. I like to make friends with people and follow their journey. So, Flav, thank you so much. Bobby's pretending to be frozen. I'm having phone issues.
Guys, thank you all for coming through and hanging out with us tonight. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Jen. We love all you guys. Thanks for the support. And
good luck in St. Louis. If there's anything we can do by any means, let me know. I doubt it, but if you need anything at all, don't hesitate to drop me a line.
Appreciate that. I cannot wait to meet you in person, Phil.
1 month, November. I'm going on Saturday, November 10. So I will be there.
That's my birthday, actually.
That's my brother's birthday. That's my brother in St. Louis' birthday, too.
Hell yeah, it's a great day.
I will be there on the 10th.
Well,
So
Jen, I'm sure
wait.
I'll see you pretty quick. So next live or hangout. So thank you guys. Everybody have a good night. Right?
Someone did ask to hang out earlier, Dredd, and I told them I let them know Wednesdays were for our guest boxes only on the show, but that they should hit you up for a hangout. They want to have something to show off, or I don't know. I don't want to
right,
ignore
guys.
that.
If y'all for the hangout, I'll do the hangouts, and then this is for the show, for the guest only for the show. We obviously got into a different conversation tonight with that Carly in. That just kind of go, we'll do that as it runs along. But if you want to be on the Dreadnought hangout, we'll show your stuff and have fun for sure. That's why we do the hangouts.
Strictly, thank you so much. Dread, thank you so much. I love
Anytime,
being
Jen.
here.
Thanks for making time.
Jen. You guys are more
life is
welcome
busy,
anytime.
So I appreciate you guys. I know life is super busy, so thanks for carving out a couple hours with us tonight and sharing with the people and learning. Everyone wants to learn and make it fun and have a good time with it. So thank you for doing that.
Bobby, have a good night, brother.
We'll see you guys again real soon. I'm sure, Jen, we hang out all the time on here. So
Hell yeah. Good night.
all right, guys. Thank you. Much love.
Much love.